Pay attention to his social media presence, right? He's got a couple chimpanzees running his social media. And obviously, I think we can expect more of the same if and when he decides to throw his hat in the ring for mayor.
You might be tuned into more salt of the earth people than I am, but I'm referring to the media elites. Paula Simons, for example, the senator for Alberta, thinks Ryan Jespersen is just a great guy.
Yeah, it's unfortunate what has happened. But the fact of the matter is that my staff, I do have visible minorities on my staff, and they took great offense to it. You can come after me as a politician. I have no problem with that. You can call me any name you want, but you don't get to go after my staff. That's the line. I'm not sure they all understand that, but that's not the issue here today. I consider the matter closed as Chorus has moved forward.
For those of you who aren't aware yet, Ryan Jespersen, who social justice warriors in Edmonton, radical leftists affectionately called Jespo, has been fired. He no longer works for 630 CHED, where he's been for quite some time, doing a lot of the legwork for Rachel Notley, helping her sweep Edmonton with the Orange Crush of 2015. He no longer works there after he committed an act of racism. It was bold-faced racism, but the left wants you to forget about it. See, Ryan Jespersen called his opponents, people of color, chimpanzees, on live radio, on the airwaves to everyone in Edmonton. He called people of color chimpanzees. Can you believe that? Well, the left wants you to forget about it. Although Global News had to fire him, it just had to happen, the leftists in Alberta are eager to just forgive and forget. Paula Simons, the Alberta senator, is quick to say how great of a person is. Just forget about the casual racism on Edmonton airwaves. Every single leftist blue checkmark is coming to his aid to sing his praises, to talk about what kind of great work he does, what kind of a great person he is. And I can't help but think that that same sort of compassion wouldn't be extended to anyone on the right. Listen to the full statement that he made on the radio. This is an adult saying something like this, someone who's probably a trained broadcast professional. Well, he said this on Edmonton airwaves.
Pay attention to his social media presence, right? He's got a couple chimpanzees running his social media. And obviously, I think we can expect more of the same if and when he decides to throw his hat in the ring for mayor.
Now, I want to go through his announcement. On Monday, he came out with the news that he was fired. This was 2 days after Rebel News reported that he had been wiped from the website, and we republished audio that we recovered that Global News didn't want you to hear. Let's go through the responses to his tweet. Well, Nariman Isa says, anyone who knows you knows you're far from done. Good luck, Jespo. Oh, that's sweet. Sean Privel says, I'm sorry to hear this, Ryan. Whatever your next adventure ends up being, I wish you nothing but the best. Hope you're okay. Sheila Pratt says, so sorry to hear this, Ryan. You're great on radio, strong journalistic and perfect. Strong journalistic and perfect for this city. We need your voice. Who wrote this? What does Sheila do? Freelance journalist and political commentator. Oh my God. Mark McQuaig Boyd, the former incompetent Minister of Energy for Rachel Notley. She was the radical environmentalist who sort of pushed that royalty review that started the initial crippling of Alberta's oil and gas sector. Yeah, well, she's on the bandwagon too, saying, looking forward to seeing what's next from you, Ryan Jespersen. The racist Ryan Jespersen, who calls people of color chimpanzees. It's not just on Twitter, it is everywhere. Every mainstream media outlet that published that Ryan Jespersen was no longer working for 630 CHED wasn't saying he was fired or he was fired for calling people of color chimpanzees. No, it was just that he was let go. He said the word chimpanzees on the radio, and, well, that's basically the story. It was a couple hundred words. That's it. Rebel News was the only outlet that actually published anything about the context of what he is saying, because the mainstream media likes protecting their own, and that goes exactly for Paula Simons. It was the Edmonton Journal that published that article that I was talking about. Paula Simons, the now Alberta senator who used to work at the Edmonton Journal, well, she said this. I've always enjoyed being a guest on Ryan Jespersen's show, both when I was a journalist and afterwards, when I became a senator. I felt he always gave me a fair hearing, but he didn't hold back with the smart questions. In fact, she wrote a whole thread, several tweets about how great Ryan Jespersen is. It is clear that you cannot trust the mainstream media, whether it was Ryan Jespersen, whether it was Paula Simons at the Edmonton Journal, whether it's CBC, CTV, Global News, whatever the case may be. The news that you are hearing from them is always half the story, because they're always protecting their own and pushing their own political interests. With Rebel News, you get what you see. You know that we're conservatives. We don't lie about that, but at least we tell you the full story, which is why you can go to ryanjespersen.ca. That is where the full story is. You can hear the audio over and over again. You can set it as your ringtone to remind yourself over and over again that the mainstream media is made up of liars, hypocrites, and racists, and they don't have your best interests at heart at all. In fact, they are the enemy of the people. For Rebel News in Edmonton, Alberta, I'm Keean Bexte. Hey, if you want to go to ryanjespersen.ca, it's not his website, it's not a fake news website, it's my website. You can go there to get the full story and set that as your ringtone and send it to your friends, because the people need to know that the mainstream media isn't looking out for you, they're looking out for themselves.